Our next speaker is going to be Cynthia Moreno Tuohy. Did I pronounce that right?
Close.
How do you pronounce it?
Tuohy.
Tuohy. She's the executive director of NADAC, the Association for Addiction Professionals. She previously served as executive director of the Dania Institute and the Central East Addiction Technology Transfer Center. Prior to that, she was program director for Volunteers of America, Western Washington, serving homeless populations and dealing with the co-occurrence of poverty and substance abuse issues. In addition, she's been the administrator of multi-county, publicly funded alcohol, drug prevention, intervention treatment centers with services ranging from prenatal care to servicing the elderly for over 20 years. Cynthia?
Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak to you about this, this issue. We see this particular piece of this law as discriminatory as well, as Representative Scott said. It targets low-income people and it targets people of color, which typically are people in poverty. It creates a stigma, and addiction or abuse issues already have a stigma attached to it and a label attached to it. So as you add more labels and more stigma, the opportunity for change and the opportunity for opportunity in America is less. In listening to the students and what they had to say, these students are students who don't have, appear not to have an abuse issue, and I say appear because I haven't done a biopsychosocial spiritual assessment on you, so I can't say that for certain. But it appears that you have an issue that was a situational issue that really should not have affected their ability to perform well in college or perform well as an American citizen. And so in listening to that, I know that you should have this opportunity to be able to continue in school. Obviously with your economic status, what it does is it does not promote you to make a difference in your own life or even affect future generations in your own culture, which I think is one of the standards in America that we speak about. The other thing I want to say about this is that people that do have addiction, that go back to school in order to better their lives, do not have that opportunity then if they have a felony or some other charge against them. Many people in recovery are returning or trying to return to school. They do not have the money to do that, and therefore it discriminates even more highly on a disease, alcohol and drug addiction, particularly drug addiction, that is already discriminated against. You spoke about 200,000 people who have been denied scholarships since 1998 as a result of this law. I'm wondering how many more students or potential students have been discriminated against that could have applied for these scholarships but have chosen not to because they don't want to stand in front of this issue. We know that addiction and abuse is a biopsychosocial spiritual disease, and we know that it's a medical disease, and yet this law does not treat, this piece of this law does not treat this as a medical disease. And so this in itself is an issue as far as going forth with this writing in this law. I think it's important to note that the background of our drug penalty attitude dates back to very early days in America, where people believed that if you were not deserving, you should not be able to create opportunity in your life. And I speak to that from a personal level, having been a ward of the court and a foster child for 18 years. When I went to go to college, this was some years ago, okay? When I went to go to college, I was not permitted at that time to go to a four-year university to go into social work, which was my dream, to work with people who have alcohol and drug problems, basically. Because of my background in alcohol and drug use at an early age. And because of that and being a foster child, I was told I could go to a one-year college program and earn my secretarial certificate and then get a job and pay back taxes. Well, I went ahead and fought that system, went to college, got my degree, and today, as these charts indicate, I make much more money than I would have made then. I pay much higher taxes. I think I contribute a little bit to society, and my hope is to continue to do that as I age and grow older and give more to society. So what NADAC sees is that it's important to support this change, and some options to do that is to just take off the penalty. or take this wording off the financial aid forms, that it's not even necessary to do that. And to permit people who do have problems with addiction or have a situational issue to go on into college. And if they do have an addiction issue, then get them the treatment and the support that they need, and cause student intervention programs on campus so that people can get the support that they need so they can be successful, and we can have more people earning degrees and going back to their own groups that they came from, like myself, in order to support those groups and poverty and discrimination to get to a different level in the United States. So,